I'm talking to you today in two capacities. One is as a board member of the Hong Kong Australia Business Association, and another is as an importer and an exporter myself and a trade consultant. So first of all, I'd like to start by sharing a little bit with you about the Hong Kong Australia Business Association. There will be a brochure on everyone's table there. There should be enough for everyone. If there's not and you need more, please let me know. There's a membership form on the back. We'd love to welcome you into the association, and hopefully I'll do a reasonable job of making you feel at least a little compelled to do that. So the Hong Kong Australia Business Association promotes trade, cultural understanding and relationship building between Australia, Hong Kong and mainland China. Very important that I make mention of the fact we are called the Hong Kong Australia Business Association, but our charter includes mainland China. We do that a number of ways. First of all, we have some very high-level connections in all three regions. We also have some fantastic networking events. We have our annual food and wine dinner, of which our good friends at ANZ are a valued partner, and that matches Chinese food with South Australian wine. We have our business awards and gala dinner that was recently held at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre with around 320 guests, including the Premier, the Lord Mayor, the Treasurer, Lieutenant Governor and so on. So it was a very high-profile event. We have Chinese New Year cocktail party and so on. So a lot of really fantastic networking opportunities for members and friends of our association. The third way we do that is with trade delegations. And there are two trade delegations coming up in November and December this year. The first one is the Hong Kong International Wine and Spirits Fair. That's the first week of November. Now, the Hong Kong International Wine and Spirits Fair is Asia's biggest wine show. You'll be one of around, if you choose to exhibit of course, you'll be one of around 1,000 exhibitors, and you'll be able to meet amongst 20,000 buyers. Now those buyers are not all from Hong Kong. In fact, around 7,000 of those buyers are from Asian markets outside of Hong Kong, around 4,000 from mainland China. It is a fantastic event, a world-class venue, the Hong Kong International Wine and Spirits Fair. It's in the first week of November. We'd love to have you join us. The Hong Kong Australia Business Association adds to the value of this wine show by including an in-market market research package, which I'll share a little bit about with you shortly. The other event is in the first week of December. That's the Hong Kong Forum. The Hong Kong Forum brings the members of Hong Kong business associations from around the world together in Hong Kong during the first week of December. What that means is that the HKBA is a member of the Federation. I hope that's not my phone. That'd be embarrassing. Brings the members of the Federation of Hong Kong Business Associations from around the world into Hong Kong at the one time. So you're going to be able to network and lean on the experience of people from mainland China and Hong Kong, of course, but also from Europe, from North America, from other Asian markets in the region, all of whom have a direct interest in doing business in Hong Kong and China. You'll hear from some really fantastic guest speakers. There'll be workshops, there'll be site visits. It is a great opportunity, particularly for the new entrant, to get a feel for what it's like doing business in Hong Kong and China. And the other benefit, of course, is we'll also have our market research program on during the same time. So a week full of events. So let me share a little bit about the market research program for you. Run concurrently with both the Hong Kong Wine Show and the Hong Kong Forum. 2-day event, and our objective is to give you really valuable first-hand insight into the Hong Kong and to some extent the southern China Pearl River Delta area, and exactly what that market requires if you're looking to export into the region. I assume most of you are exporters. You really will accumulate fantastic knowledge in these 2 days. We'll take you to a major freight terminal. You'll see firsthand air freight, sea freight, refrigerated freight, the consolidation warehousing of logistics people. You'll find out exactly how it all comes together, and there'll be a great Q&A session opportunity as well. You may not be aware that Hong Kong is the world's 3rd largest container port. 3rd largest to Shanghai at number 1, 29 million 20-foot container equivalents per year. Singapore number 2, 28 million 20-foot container equivalents every year. And Hong Kong at number 3, 25 million 20-foot container equivalents every year. Quite a substantial figure. We will take you to into the retail market as well. So we'll take you to Park and Shop, which is one of the major supermarket chains in Hong Kong. You'll get to meet firsthand the guys who sign, or ladies of course, the people who sign the orders. And you'll see in that, I think it's a light blue shirt there with back to camera, that is the guy who signs the orders. Those people there are our delegates when we piloted this program in 2010. And that's the kind of access, that's the kind of direct access you will have to decision makers and people of influence. You'll be able to ask them directly, what do I need to do to get on your shelf? What are your expectations? What are your needs? What are your priorities? There is no better place to get it from the guy who's going to sign the order. We'll do the same thing with a major restaurant chain. Poker Corporation have 25 restaurants in Hong Kong, from a licensed cafe all the way through to high-end Japanese cuisine, 25 restaurants. You'll be able to talk directly to the executive chef and the CEO and find out exactly what it takes to get on their menu from the people who make the decisions. Now, obviously, whether you get an order from them or not is incidental from the point of view when you consider that what's important to them is important to most businesses like them, or at least a lot of that information is important to most businesses like theirs in Hong Kong. So it is a really insightful opportunity. We'll also take you to a 5-star hotel, most probably the Grand Hyatt. You'll get to meet the food and beverage manager of the 5-star hotel. What does it take to get into the hotel? What does it take to get on their wine list, in their minibar, in their restaurant? Ask the guy who's going to place the orders. You can't get any closer to the source than that. We'll take you to the Consul General's office in Hong Kong. You'll be able to meet Australia's Consul General, Mr. Paul Tai, and you'll also be briefed by the Senior Trade Commissioner in Hong Kong for Austrade, Mr. Phil Ingram. So a great opportunity to hear firsthand what the impression of Australian products, goods, services, Australian businesses in the region, and find out firsthand from people who really are in the know exactly what's going on. We'll take you through the transport system in Hong Kong. You'll understand very quickly how to use the subway, how to use the ferries, how to use the buses, and so on. We'll take you to the major retail precincts, the markets, and the high-end Canton Road precinct. Our objective is that when you come back second time, third time, fourth time, as we've heard from Max, repetitive visits to China is the only way to go, and to this region. Hong Kong is no different. When you come back for subsequent trips to the region, you are ready to hit the ground running, and that's what this market research program is put together for. Our trade delegation team is very experienced, and that experience on the ground will be shared with the delegates that come with us. This is a fantastic program. It's exclusive. Market research program is exclusive to our delegates coming with us to either the Hong Kong International Wine and Spirits Fair or the Hong Kong Forum. Please contact me directly, either today or at a later date is fine. My contact details are on the cards that are out the front there, or please ask me for a card. I can give you one, or on one of the pages in this catalogue here, you'll find my contact details. And I'd love to provide you with more information if you're interested. We have both of these delegations coming up, and of course it's not without the help of our valued sponsors, who include ANZ. I make specific mention of them because of their involvement in today's functions. So the Hong Kong Forum, Hong Kong International Wine and Spirits Fair, coupled together with our market research program, we would absolutely love to have you involved. Please let me know if we can be of any further help. So if you can just bear with me while I catch up with the technology a little bit here. So the reason for wanting to get into the Hong Kong market, apart from the Hong Kong market itself, which in certain areas is extremely competitive because it is quite sophisticated, and I can promise you won't be alone trying to sell food and wine and things like that to the Hong Kong region. In many cases is because people want to get into the greater China market, and there's no doubt that's where most people's focus of attention is. In addition to being involved on the board of the Hong Kong Australia Business Association, I'm also an importer and an exporter myself, and a trade consultant. I've been doing the importing and exporting for around 25 years. I've been to China about 200 times. I certainly don't know everything about doing business in China, which I guess makes me a bit of a slow learner. However, if I can share a little insight with you that might help you on the way, then that's certainly my intention. What I share with you here in this next presentation is purely derived from my own experience, from doing business in Hong Kong and China, no other source. So, there may be differing views, there may not be, but this is simply what has worked and what hasn't worked for me actually doing business in Hong Kong over the last 25 years. So to start, I guess, I'd like to talk a little bit about what I believe is the secret of successfully doing business in China long term. And to do that, you really need to understand the market you're dealing with, first of all. It has been very well described by Max and the ANZ guys that China might be one country, but it is definitely not one market. It is as diverse a place as you could possibly imagine. In fact, there are 33 separate areas, and really from the most state-of-the-art, unbelievably modern, high-tech city from the future to something that looks almost untouched 1,000 years ago. A couple of very good examples, Shanghai and Kaifeng. You really need to keep in mind that there is no one China strategy. There can't be. You either need to be flexible in your approach, or you need to focus on specific regions of China that you feel your goods and services and your style is most suited for. Understanding a little bit about China and providing a little more information, and the first one is obvious. It is a very, very, very busy place. There are a lot of people in China. In fact, around 1.4 billion people, which is an extraordinary number when you think about it. People living in the major cities in China really do have a rapidly growing demand for good quality products. That's what you mentioned, Max, about the people in the city that have moved from the urban and the more rural areas. The sort of things that I personally found are in very high demand: luxury items, food and beverage, health and wellness products, and also technology. Some examples. Can you imagine 1 billion mobile phones in China? And that might have been right yesterday. It's probably out of date today. That 1 billion mobile phones, no likelihood whatsoever of that slowing down. In fact, if anything, it's going up. Extraordinary figure.